because you talked about the forest moving, that
Yes.
this is the shift, and then you
Yes.
described surrounding, so I'm just trying to connect.
Yes.
So you using the new categories, live, move, work.
Yep.
And then using third-party data, is that the moving forest, or?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of things. I think it's this broader economic shift from the asset-based economy to the access economy, right? So all of those old products that were based on the things you buy are not really so relevant anymore for modern consumers, especially young urban professionals, right? So there's some of that, and that requires new product design, right? So you can take some of what's old and repurpose it for what these consumers need, but it needs to be a little bit different than it was. And then when you talk to these consumers and you interview them, they're not interested in buying 12 different products that may or may not have gaps and overlaps, right? Because these products weren't designed for their lives. So a piece of it is in the product design, yep. And then when you look at the data that's available, insurance companies obviously ingest a ton of data, but most of it is really traditional underwriting data. So what percentage of your basement floor is tile, right? How old is your roof? How many infractions do you have on your driving record? And if you actually look at the range of third-party data sources that are out there, it's way, way, way broader, right? Everything from social media to ratings on various freelancing sites, to even just better data about what people are interested in and what they might be interested in buying. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
We have more questions.
Do you see, will you be selling this to corporations? So for example, right now, we'll go into a COO of an employee benefits coach and consulting firm, and corporations are asking us what's out there, what's cool, what can we offer the employees. So it's really as a voluntary product.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I see a big interest in that.
Yes, if you want to tell them we're cool, we'd love
that.
We are selling initially through independent agents and employee benefits brokers for exactly that reason, right? It's for a couple of reasons. It's a new category of insurance, and it's hard to get out on Facebook and Google ads, right? And these are knowledgeable people where their incentives are the same as ours, right? We pay commission as they sell the product rather than paying Google.
Oh, I love the idea.
Thank you.
So, yes, so Len, next question, gentleman in the back there.
So there are multiple reasons why innovation in insurance is difficult.
Yes.
You focused sort of on the packaging and on the technology.
Yeah.
But regulation and law plays a very heavy role in this. So
absolutely.
Are you a traditional insurance company, part of the state of Massachusetts?
Yep.
But you're just packaging things differently, or how are you tackling that aspect of the problem?
Yeah, so this is kind of interesting. Jay and I were actually invited out to speak to the National Association of Insurance Commissioners 2 months ago or so out on the West Coast to their innovation task force for just this reason, right? Hugely regulated space. I actually think regulation is an advantage for us. I'll tell you why, and then I'll tell you how we're setting up in a way that makes sense. So if you look at the insurtech space specifically as a subset of fintech, most of the early insurtech companies are tech people coming in saying insurance is broken, let me fix it. It's fair. What has been addressable for them is typically either the back office, right, because processes are processes kind of regardless of where you are, or distribution. So if you look at Lemonade, probably one of the best known insurtechs, right, just raised a huge round. They're selling a 40-year-old product with beautifully redesigned digital distribution. So it's not a new product, it's just sold differently, right? We're actually aiming at the product space itself, which is a lot harder to do, but there's almost nobody actually in that space. So we're setting up in a format called a managing general agency with a reinsurer behind us, but we're licensed as an agency in the state of Massachusetts, if that helps. Yeah, also, I would say this, a regulator said this to us, and I would agree with it from some of my past career experience. The fact that insurance companies do something a certain way doesn't mean that either the laws or the regulations require it. It means that somebody interpreted it that way, probably in 1960, and then all the software that's been sold since does it that way, right? So a really close reading of the regulations and the laws also makes it clear that the playing field is bigger than what we've seen.
Lynn, one last question.
Who is actually writing the insurance? Are you guys writing the insurance, or you're getting it from other insurance providers? Who writes the insurance?
Yeah, so we're product designers. We've designed the coverages and the pricing. We're filing on somebody else's license, which we're renting, a fronting company, and then the risk gets transferred to a reinsurer, which sounds bizarre and complicated, but it's like, you look like, it's a totally normal insurance industry structure.